Ask about your allowance. That was some story. Huh?
Yeah, it sure was.
5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. I have here a book, and it's written by a lady who's become our friend over the phone. And this book will do everything for you. This book will give you all the information you need to be healthy. Mm-hmm. To be healthy and to lose weight. I found the thing on losing weight, and I really need to do something to lose weight. So sex is one of them, by the way. I just have to...
Sex is good.
That's what it says. Well, she doesn't use the word sex. It says make love.
Oh, I see.
But the other one, the one is don't drink cold drinks. There's another one. That's hard to not do. So let's find out what we can do. I haven't introduced her. Dr. Christine Horner is who I'm talking about. Is she the warrior goddess, Robin?
Yes, she is.
Warrior goddess.
She's wonderful.
She's a health expert, a surgeon, a speaker. She holds board certifications on the National Board of Surgery and the National Board of Plastic Surgery. Oh, I didn't know that part. And she's going to talk to us about the 3 health conditions that can flare up during the hot summer months and how to cool them down. Radiant Health, Ageless Beauty is the book. Good morning, Dr. Horner. How are you?
Good morning. I'm hot. I live in San Diego, and we've been getting this just unbelievable heat wave that mimics Florida.
Wow.
although Florida this summer is not too bad. 90 is about as high as we've gotten. I'm 92 maybe. I don't know.
Okay, well, it's been that here, and we've got humidity, which is super rare. And that kind of heat is actually something that can cause a lot of particular health problems. But if you plan for it, you can protect yourself from the damaging effects.
Let me ask you something about that. Is it more harmful if you like if I was a farmer and I was outside in the heat all day long? Is that healthier than, because the way I do it, I'm an air conditioning guy, so I'm in the air conditioning and then I go out. Is that extreme going from one to the other? Is that a problem?
Well, it can be. I mean, you definitely want to make sure that you're well hydrated and everything. I mean, some of the stuff that we look at is sun exposure, because a lot of times, people are very cautious about what they wear in the wintertime to make sure that they're appropriate for the weather. But in the summertime, people have a tendency to not be so cautious with that, and particularly folks that are on vacation and that kind of thing. So definitely, if you're out for a long period of time, it could put you at risk for getting sunburn, and that's why we recommend sunblock. But you might be familiar with some of the controversies with that, where the sunblocks actually have toxic chemicals in them that could increase your risk of not only skin cancer but other things. So really the solution is to use a non-toxic sunscreen, and the best source of looking at that is the Environmental Working Group, which has a website that's EWG.org. And they've got a section in there on all the different sunblocks, which ones to avoid and which ones are completely safe to use.
I love that information. Let me explain why. My nephew's girlfriend asked me if I'd get some sunscreen for the baby. And I said, for the baby? And so I did. I just looked and I found something that said for babies, but I don't even know what to look for other than if it says for babies. I would think that if it's for babies, it would be good for adults too, no?
Well, you would hope so, but basically you want to make sure it's non-toxic. There's certain chemicals in it like oxybenzone and retinol palmitate and parabens and phthalates. If you look at the ingredient list, you do not want those. You want to do the non-toxic kind of mineral blocks. But again, your best source is that EWG.org site where you can look up. They just got dozens and dozens of different kinds of sunscreens listed there, and let you know which ones are safe and which ones aren't.
You also talk about hot flashes.
Yeah, so as you can imagine, poor women going through menopause, a lot of them, in fact, the research says about 75% of women going through menopause will experience hot flashes, and when it's hot outside, it can make it a whole lot worse. And if you haven't had a hot flash, you may not have the compassion for what women go through. Fortunately, I have not had any, but, I've been around women where they just are so uncomfortable, and they have this profuse sweating, and it's embarrassing, and so what can you do, for that? Well, obviously keeping cool and wearing appropriate clothing, not anything that's synthetic that traps the heat in, but there's also a lot of different types of plant-based, perfectly safe products that can help with balancing hormones or helping to eliminate, the hot flashes. So, for example, there's a particular supplement called Relizen, Relizen, which is from Sweden, and just came to the United States about 3 years ago. It's been used in Europe for about 15 years. In fact, it's the #1 hot flash formula in France. But what I was impressed about with Relazin is that when they brought it here to this country, they made a focus of doing really good quality research on it and kind of studying it with the same rigors that you would with pharmaceutical medication. So they set up double-blinded, placebo-controlled studies in university settings, and those studies showed that Relazin is super effective at helping to lower the incidence of hot flashes and mood swings and night sweats and sleep disturbances and all the general kind of menopausal symptoms, that we see. And in fact, the research is so impressive. There's actually over 2,500 OBGYNs in this country now recommend Relazin to their patients, which I think is great, because it's also been shown to be perfectly safe when they compared to placebo. There was no incidence of any side effects that were any more than what placebo is. So
wow. Well, that's. I'm sure that a lot of people are going to want to know that name again. What is it called again?
It's called Relazin. It's spelled Relizen, and you can just get it online. I actually have it on my website, and then have information about it in my book.
And then you talk about heat rash.
Yeah.
Prickly
so,
heat.
Sometimes when you're out and you notice, oh my God, am I turning into a teenager again? The kind of in the private areas, sometimes you'll get these red bumps and everything, and that's what the sweat glands are actually getting clogged when you get that heat rash, and it's really easily treatable by just, getting yourself into a cooling environment where you're not sweating. And you can even do some natural things like aloe that we know that's good for burns, but it's also cooling to the skin for that kind of inflammation. Cold compresses are made out of chamomile tea. It's another thing that can really be helpful. And even oatmeal. I remember my mom used to slather me in oatmeal when I had the chicken pox, but it's actually been found to be very soothing to the
Really?
skin. Yeah, so you can use that for the heat rash. And the only thing to look out for is sometimes that heat rash can get infected.
Oh.
So if that happens, you need to, see your doctor for that.
This will work for men too?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But the other one doesn't.
Oatmeal works for men. You may not have hot flashes, but you don't make heat rash. Exactly.
When do you do?
That's right.
I went to your website and you have a radio show. How do we listen to your radio show online?
Well, if you go to my website and you click on what you should know, you'll find a menu on the left side that says the Radiant Health Show with Dr. Christine Horner. And if you click on that, you'll see what's currently playing, and then there's a place to click on the archived interviews because they keep all those on a separate site.
Oh, I see them. I see them. Okay. Okay. Well, that's awesome. You've become a friend of ours through the show. I want the listeners to know you got a lot of information in the book, and these little interviews we do with you only scratches the surface.
That's right. Hey, and I got good news about my book, too. Big news. So my book just won a National Book Award for the best book in health, medicine, and nutrition.
Is that right? Well, good for you.
Congratulations. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I thought so. I was jumping up and down.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Why are your fingers purple on the book cover?
Well, I don't know. I didn't notice that. Maybe because I'm in the shadow with the beautiful flowers.
Oh,
They're not purple. They're white. I have a French manicure. I don't know. Maybe you got a weird printing.
What?
Maybe you spilled coffee on it and it bled into
Oh, okay. I thought it was something going on. Okay. All right. I have a copy of the book. It's called Radiant Health, Ageless Beauty. Call me if you want the copy. The rest of us have to go buy it. And I know we can go to drchristinehorner.com. It's drchristinehorner.com. I'm guessing the book is everywhere, Amazon, etc.?
Correct. Yeah, it sure is. And if you want an autographed copy, then you can order from my website.
All right, very good. Again, call me if you want the copy that was just sent. I saw the phone ringing, but it went away, so I must have done something wrong. Doctor, thank you for being on the air with us. Stay cool.
Oh, you're so welcome. You too.
All right, we will be right back.